Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear student, welcome once again. As you know, we are going through a very interesting discussion about the bureaucracy, and I think and I expect you become a bureaucrat, and bureaucrat of the sense that is true according to the standards of the bureaucracy. These are not the general standard as are being followed currently in Pakistan, but these are the standards that help you to deliver to the nation, to deliver to the public all the duties that have been assigned to you. So what we were talking about, if you remember, we were discussing that what is the what are the function of the bureaucracy and what is the criticism. If you remember, we said that the bureaucracy has the function that it helps in implementing the rules and regulation. It is the administrative arm of the government, and the government implements all its policies through the bureaucracies. And in this way, the bureaucracy becomes the lusty for the power. It is a natural phenomena. On the other hand, the bureaucracy can influence the policy making process, because all the bureaucrats give their feedback to the policy maker, and in the light of that feedback, policy maker take the decision. So if the feedback match to the ground realities, then it is the policy maker are in a good position to frame good policies. In other ways, I can say that the bureaucrats are the eyes of the policy makers. If they show the true picture, the policies will be well and good, and if they will be briefing just like professional, it will have no long-lasting effect and no positive effect. For example, if you see, if government wants to make the national security policies, the government has to invite the army chief and the other security agencies, because they are more aware of the ground realities and the natural phenomena that they face every day on the basis. Prime Minister has to consider their suggestion, although the ultimately power lies with the legislator and the elected members, but at the same time the suggestions of the bureaucrats cannot be rejected categorically. They should be given weight, and in this way, when there is a balance between the policymakers and the suggestion by the bureaucrats, then there are always the positive effect. And then we talked about the policy that the bureaucracy criticism. Criticism, again, I would like to say it is very easy, and the bureaucracy, particularly in the developing countries, remains under the you can say the cloud of the criticism, because it is unable to perform, to deliver to the people to up to their expected you can say the expectations. No doubt, again no doubt, that the bureaucracy had its limitation, and particularly in Pakistan the limitation has increased as over the years the bureaucracy has become the politicized. So what was the first formal criticism? That there was the circumlocution that the bureaucracy follows a way that is lengthy ways to solve the problem. Deliberately, you can say, or sometimes there are the limitation for this. And the other was very similar to this one, was the red tapeism. Red tapeism is to give more importance to the legality. I am not saying that the legal procedure should not be followed. It should be followed 100%, but at the same time it should be a speedy process, so that the time is not wasted. And if the time is wasted, many of the phenomena or the files are time related, and in this way they become ineffective. The Lasky, who is the very powerful critics of the bureaucracy, he says that during the process and the course of time, bureaucracy becomes the lusty for the power. It wants to rule the people. It is again a natural phenomena. It is in the human nature that we want to rule our, you can say, the counterparts or the public or the people who are living around us. So it is not a bad phenomena, but at the same time the purpose and the objective should be to deliver. If we are not going to deliver, or the bureaucrats are not going to deliver, it is a problematic and it may suffer many of the problem. The third criticism was the formalization. If you see the first criticism, locomotion, that was the, I forget about this. The first two criticism, red tapeism, and this is the third one is the formalization. What is the formalization? Bureaucracy firmly sticks to forms and formalities. These are against the standard procedure. Would you like to suggest that bureaucracy should bypass these formalities? No, but these formalities should be minimized. I think you know that many times they deliberately prolong the processes to get, you can say, their vested interest. It could be bribe or any other barter trade in this way. So the bureaucracy, this formalization is that it should be reduced, it should be minimized, and it should be be speedy, that no one is directly effective to this one. This leads to the loss of their sense of judgment and initiative. When you are following the procedure, routine business, you are not using your mind, you are just saying that keeping your finger crossed. No, this is the rules and regulation. It means now you have become innovationless. You are not innovating this. You have to choose such of the situation that you introduce new method to solve the problems. You can solve this problem. You have the potential. Pakistani bureaucracy is not inefficient, but the system has made it so powerless, or you can say its hands are handcuffed and it cannot perform in, you can say, in a proper way. The biggest reason is the influence of politics into the bureaucracy. The demise of the merit, the demise of the good institution, the demise of the good mid-career courses, and you can say the falling and the continuous falling standard of the educations in the schools and the universities, because all the lot will come from the schools and the universities. The tone of official correspondence, writing notes on files are predetermined. You are not innovative, and I am it is very interesting to look at that the comments written by a secretary, additional secretary, joint secretary, or deputy secretary, or any of the official, they are not easily understandable. They have some specific tone, specific words, and specific writing style that is written, and it is not a problematic, but it is predetermined. It means that there are the limits, and these limits cannot be crossed. For example, a very interesting example I would like to quote, that if you see the FIR, the first information report in any of the police station, you will see that this is handwritten. And I am sure that if you are not a law graduate, it is very, very difficult for you to read it, even it is written in our national language, that is the Urdu. So what is the reason for this? Is the formalization. Why do not you type it on the computer? I have many times objected this. Definitely no one is going to listen me. The officers or the relevant person says, no, this is not possible, this is that, and they are just firmly making in this. So this is the predetermined. If you are predetermined, what could be the innovation? If you are committed that you will be writing it by the lead pencil and by hand, and writing carbon paper before this, under it, and you are writing this and that way, that is useless. I should not say the useless, but at the same time I should say that this is the predetermined. So the predetermined things are very difficult to change. And interestingly, unless and until this situation is not changed, the results cannot be obtained. It is followed in prescribed manner and mechanical way. Prescribed manner, if it is followed in the prescribed manner, no objection. It should be followed in the prescribed manner, but at the same time, it is not a mechanical. You are not working on the, you can say, the natural sciences that 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. You are dealing with the human behavior. Human behavior have their emotions, passions, expectations, mood, and these all things matter in this way. You should follow the procedure. You are welcome to follow the procedure, but at the same time, it should not be soulless, it should not be cruel, it should not be brutal, it should not have the negative effect on the people. It should speed up the process. It should be on the part of solving the problems more quickly, avoiding the red tapeism and the formalization. The fourth criticism on the bureaucracy, criticism will continue, and I think you could be even more critics than any other person. So the other is the unresponsiveness. What is the unresponsiveness in this situation? It is lack of speed and attitude with which bureaucracy reacts to the changes in political environment. The bureaucracy has now become very intelligent. Rather than intelligent, I should say that they have become very strategic. They resist to each and every political change because they have seen over the years that ultimately each political party or the political government try to use them for their own interest. So they take the things very easy. They are not, you can say, the emotional to work hard. They have no patience to work hard. They just keep looking the scenario, keep on the eyes the changing environment, and ultimately behave. So they have become the unresponsive. That's why every time the new government says that they are making a new police force. Why new police force? Why you are not making powerful the already police force? Now there are the you can say the phenomena of swift force or such kind of things. It means the political people knows, the government knows that this bureaucracy is unable to deliver. It doesn't accept the change very quickly and in a very positive way. It always resists. All the bureaucrats resist change when change threaten their interest. अव्वल तो ये सब चेंज को ही जो है वो रेजिस्ट करते हैं, और जी फाइल है ये आप यार छोड़ दें, इसको ऐसे ही होता रहे. But this is not the situation. This situation becomes more critical, more you can say the clear when their own interests are at stakes. They do not allow any of the people to play with their interest. First they ensure their own interest, then they go for the public. That is you can say that should be the vice versa. They should first ensure the delivery of the service and they should follow their own interest, because they have been assigned, they have been entrusted to serve the people. So as they resist, it means they always favor the status quo. So as they will be favoring the status quo, there will be no change, and many of the things have to be changed because many related and the relevant phenomena change over time, and they require that there should be need to change to the law or rules of the business. The precedent and procedure tend to slow down the reaction time of the bureaucracy. जिस तरह का जो है वो mechanism है, it slows down the process of the bureaucracy. Bureaucracy takes the plea that this is the standard procedure, this is the legalization, and in reality they are not much interested to go in a speedy ways. They just concentrate on this, that okay, if this is the situation, it is well and good, they have nothing to do. So why have you ever thought about that, why they do resist any of the change? If they go any of the innovation, many of the time they are trapped. Why they are trapped? For example, I have many examples of the principal who tried to develop the college by making some innovative change, and when there was audit, there was very lengthy audit paras, and those principals who were very sincere to the uplift of the colleges, they ultimately have to face the problem. It is the problem that lies with the system. That system never allows them, but at the same time we should not give up our efforts. We should give the viable solution within the limitations of the rules and the regulation. Both the extremes should not be violated. At one side, the legalization, the procedure should be followed. On the other side, it should be speedy procedure. It should be in the best interest of the people. It should be followed with the least effort. The next criticism is the lust for power. Have you lust for the power? If you are a bureaucrat, the bureaucrat wants to grab more and more power. The power is a very abstract term. Power means to rule the people, to access to the assets, to access to the authorities. Many definitions can be furnished for the lust for the power. It has a lust for power and at any cost. This word is very useful for you and very critical, that at any cost. It means the bureaucrat is just looking the interest of his own. He is not looking the interest of the people. He wants to get power maximum at any cost. So at any cost, if a person is committed to take the charge, or you can say to take the power at any cost, then what the society can do? The result is clear, that the society will suffer extremely, and the bureaucrat will be enjoying. And again, I would like to say, in the previous lecture I started from the example of the Justice Iftikhar Chaudhary. There are many people who have done wonder for the people, but the only bureaucrat that rule over the heart of the people, it is just by the service delivery. You are very strict, you just beat the people, give them physical punishment, torture their mind, but at the same time, as your rule passes, you become a part of the past, and the people forget about you, even people criticize you. It has rested too much policy determination. What this means, by taking the refuge behind the legals and the procedural and the formal methods, they say, the bureaucracy says that it has rested too much policy determination. So they are more policy determined. So in this way, they just acquire more power. For example, if I say that if I follow this procedure that is according to the policy, the people will suffer more, and they will approach to me, they will just request me, they will just before me, and I will become very powerful, and I will be sitting with the very tight neck, and I will be saying that, okay, this is the situation. This is not from the executive and legislative. From the difference between the executive and legislative, they rested much policy determination. It is mainly due to the political nature of administration. Political nature जो है वो क्यों आती है? If I am the MNA, I would like to have the bureaucracy and my own constituency that works on my directions. I am not interested that what are the rules and procedure, and only that person can survive in my area if I am supposing that if I am the MNA or the minister, or you can say the state minister, if he can only survive or save his post if he coordinates with me. This is not well-being in the society. He is the civil servant. He is not the servant of the MNA to me. He should not follow the personal desires of any of the lawmaker at any of the stage. So it is the political nature. The political is the sugar that have demised our bureaucracy. In Karachi, what is happening? In Balochistan, what is happening? Our law enforcement agencies are there. In law enforcement agencies are working in the Karachi. I am dead sure if even if one honest man goes to the Karachi, takes the charge, even if it is from the rangers or the police, and there is no political interference, he can change the situation of the Karachi within, you can say, 1 or 2 months. Why? This is not a city. The same people are working, living there over the years and years, but this is the politicization of the bureaucracy, that every person tries to save the interest of the lawmakers who have appointed them by and who have helped them to be recruited or to be chosen for the service by giving bribe or using their influence. The technical character of the government forces the immature legislatures to depend upon expert officials. ये सबसे bureaucracy की ideal position है. They make such a scenario for the expert official that they become dependent upon him. For example, if you are a lecturer, I am giving a very basic example. If you are a lecturer and you have been assigned any of the duty, you perform in such a way that the principal becomes totally dependent upon you. So in this way, what you will be doing this, you will be blackmailing the principal, and you will be getting your own vested interest by performing the same duty. It is a very simple phenomenon. Go to any college and you will see that some persons are very powerful. All have the same rank, but some people looks like that without them the institution cannot survive even a 1 day. So this is similarly in the bureaucracy. You can see many secretaries are dependent upon their junior officer. So this is an art that the bureaucracy has learned, and at the same time it is a game theory, and the politicians are very, very intellectual. They also know the tricks and the methodologies of the bureaucracies, and they do not allow them to do this. This leads to the self-aggrandizement of the official. ये सारा process क्यों होता है? Self-aggrandizement means self-glory. Every person wants that he should be have repute, he should have massive wealth, he should have massive power, and he or she, you should not assume that I am talking about only the he, and I am negatively biased towards the female section. I am just taking it general. When I use he, it is automatically, it should be understood that I am also using taking the she as an alternate. So this all happens, the lust for the power. What is the basic motive behind the lust of power? The self-aggrandizement, self-glory, self-reputation, self-wealth. All these are the natural phenomena. I am making very, you can say, the technical discussion here, but at the same time, if you give me any of the bureaucratic seeds, you will see that within going into the system, I might try my best to fly out of the system, but ultimately my wings will be snatched and I will be the part of the system. So you can see the many innovative and the professional or the intellectual people, that they have become the part of the same salt mine, and they have become the salt of that mine. The sixth is empire building. Bureaucracy divides the task into many isolated and self-dependent units. Self-dependent units, it is good that the units are dependent, but there should be coordination. If all the units are independent, it creates problem for the public. If they are coordinated, there is the coordination between the departments, the public gets more benefit. It saves its time, it saves its efforts, it saves its money, because many of the problems are become one window and these are solved. This is now the era of internet. By sitting here, you can extract all the information that you want to extract for this. So when the bureaucracy divides the task into many, no one gets the responsibility. I can assure you, I have seen on many occasions, even in my university, if I am part of the admission committee, people will come to me, I will say that it is out of my jurisdiction. He will ask to whom he should approach. I said, say, go to that one, that person will be leading to. So there is a zigzag. If you make the line of that person that wanted to the problem to be solved, you will see he will be going into the bees, like as the bee makes lines while they are gathering the honey from the flowers. So this is the, you can say, the empire building. The more complicated you make the system, the more powerful the empire is under your. Interestingly, each pursuing its own ends and adopting its own line of thought and action. जब मेरा अपना ही मकसद है, then I will be using my own line of thought, I will be using my own methodology, irrespective of the emotion, the sense, the spirit of the law and the people, that what they want, what they desire, what are their needs, what is the ethics, what are the cultural values. I will be just blind. I will be working in my own direction. I will not be looking what the right and left. I will be just by getting more and more money. That has become the part of our daily routine. It is not to emphasize further, because I think you are part of the same system. You have not fallen from the sky. You have at least the ages are above 20, and you have come across many of the things, and I am sure you may be the bureaucrat in one sense or the other. Therefore, the tendency of being independent develops. So this leads towards the tendency of the independent. So as you want more and more independency by making the, for example, if there are two institutions that are coordinating each other, one of the, I had one of the institution, the other person one, we will see our independence. If we do not want to share our, you can say, the powers. So this is, in other words, this is the natural phenomenon. I think you are well aware of this word and need not to explain that what is the corruption. The corruption is the trademark of our bureaucracy. What a very powerful word I have used. This is the trademark that as the words appear, the bureaucracy, the immediate and the you can say the complement comes to in mind is the corruption. Corruptions and the bureaucracies are now two wheels of the same car. They are going side by side, and in Pakistan the situation is even more dangerous. In developing countries, bureaucracy is illegally prone to illegal extortion of money. हम ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा money बटोरते चले जा रहे हैं. We are not fear of any of the thing. We are making the system complicated to get more and more money. For example, if you go to the income tax, the form, you will come to know it is so complicated. So can we not, the government cannot make it so easy? No, the bureaucrats ensures the government that without this form, the people will evade the tax. So why they do this? Because the more complicated is the tax submission form, the more people suffer, and the more people will approaching and requesting to the person who knows this, and as a way they will not be able to submit the tax return well in time. They will have to face penalty, and when you will have to face the penalty, what you know, what situation, when you will go, you will be getting two rates. For example, according to the rules and regulation, you will have to penalize for the 10,000 rupees. But the bureaucrat or his agent will tell you that if you just pay 2,000, we will solve their problem. So it is 8,000, 10,000 cost to the country or the community. But this is happening in Pakistan, and I am very sorry to say that I am also involved in this. Everyone is involved in one way or the other. Very, very rare example that where the corruption is not. Corruption is not only to just get money. Corruption is the misuse of the power. Corruption is the nepotism. Corruption is the favoritism. Corruption is just to torture, just to misuse of authority. Many, many phenomena contribute to this massive word that is the corruption. For this, they take refuge behind the political masters. For example, if you are making corruption, definitely you will have to be answerable to some of the higher authority. But the higher authority, you are ensured that you will get out of any of the law clutches, because the political master are at your back. For example, if any of the minister says me that if you make corruption, no one is going to challenge you. So I will be doing this. Definitely, quite possible that some part is going to that minister. At least my misuse of my power will be benefiting that person. So this is ले and दे की जो है वो situation है, give and take, and this is the seventh and I think the last one, the corruption. Now the plight of bureaucracy in Pakistan. Very, very poor condition of the bureaucracy in Pakistan. Why? Many factors I have explained. I will not explain this. I have just given 2 or 3, and then we will want to improve the situation of the bureaucracy, that with this bureaucracy we cannot survive, we cannot travel, and we have to change the situation. So why this is plight कि आज की जो situation है, why our bureaucracy is so inefficient? The first reason is that the corruption we have just explained, and the inefficient due to many reasons: the procedural, the formal, the red tapeism, the dishonesty, the personalization, the political system, the politicization of these things, and there is the status quo. Every time there is resist to change. Why the bureaucracy resist to change? Even I will resist to change when their rules and regulation go against me. I would not like to compromise on my authority. I would like to have more and more authority, more and more administration, so that I could perform. And whenever my interests are on stakes, I will be extremely the resistance, and the bureaucrats do and the rude attitude. This is also the people think that our bureaucracy is very rude. This is the plight, the demise, the downfall, the collapse of the bureaucracy. If my behavior becomes rude to the public to which I am servant, it is not my, you can say, I am not ending at the high note, but you can say that it is a negative thing, and the bureaucracy should have a positive attitude towards each and every person. You can imagine the situation of the judges and the police when a poor person approaches, particularly to the police. You see that what happens to him. The servant is so disobedient, and he never care about the respect of that person. That is the part of on which taxes he is getting the salary. So would you help me to improve the condition of bureaucracy in Pakistan? Should we go for this? I think you are agree, and we can improve the situation of bureaucracy. Again, I would like to say that without the bureaucracy, the system cannot be changed. Look at this, that there is a change of the government at the higher level. The bureaucracy is the same, even 1 or 2, and there is reshuffling of bureaucracy. Only the ministers or the policy maker has changed. So ultimately, they will have to depend on the bureaucracy. So why not we should take a measure that we could improve the condition of the bureaucracy? The first is where the problems start. The first is that the selection should be on merit. There are standard procedures that allow to recruit the public servants. For example, there is for the CSS officer, there is the Federal Public Service Commission, and in each province there are the provincial public service commissions. But what is happening there? No doubt their performance have been above, you can say, not the above board, but to some extent you can say the above board. But at the same time, there are the stories that the people who were not efficient, they got through, and they reached to the highest level of the administration. You can say like the secretaries. If I come to the police, then the SPs are the IGs, and if I take example from the judiciary, judges, even the judges of the Supreme Court. Not the Supreme Court, Honorable Supreme Court, because now there are so much action and I may be victim of the contempt of the court, so I am saying that the Honorable Supreme Court. So the first of all, for to select on the merit, the first problem, पहली खराबी जो शुरू होती है, it is from the education system. Being part of the education system, I know the weaknesses of the education system. I have the ideas to improve this. On different forum, I express my concerns about the education system, and I say to improvement of the education. So if this is our nursery, if the education system is not providing the true inputs for the output, what will be the output? If you have the low quality inputs, you will be definitely getting the low quality output. So the education system should be reformed, reorganized, restructured, and there needs overhauling and the surgical operation for this, because without the proper educational system, the survival becomes impossible. Pure merit. I am using the word pure merit, nothing blind merit here, because these persons have a long-lasting effect. If you select a person on merit, at least he is going to serve the nation more than 30 years. If you are getting the job in the 20 to 25 years, the average, the retirement age is 60 years, so at least more than 30 to 35 years you will be delivering services to the nation. And unfortunately, if you have not been selected on merit, your selection is politicized. What you will say, it means for more than 3 decades you will be playing with the interest of the people, the community, the populace, and you will be just ensuring the political interest of your own and the honor on the basis of which you have entered into the services. Pure matter rather than the nepotism and favoritism. I have seen in even the at the lower level in the education institution, when there are the interviews committees in all the institution, not only I can say that in one institution there is nepotism, there is the favoritism, and the people talk about people get benefit from this. The deserving remain behind, and the undeserving get the seats and they reach to the position, and this one drop spoils the whole system, because this will be plugged into the system and it will continue be the part of the engine over 3 decades. And how the engine can survive when one of the its part is ineffective, inefficient or corrupt? If so, politician cannot use them and fool them. What is happening in our country? That every time the political leaders are using the bureaucracy for their own purposes. So if a man is intelligent, he is honest, he has been selected on merit, I can assure that he can resist. Only the people who have been on the merit, they resist. If you go to the history of, you can say, the randomly select, you will see that the people who resisted at different level, they were selected on the merit. And if a person is not selected on the merit and he is the production of the nepotism or the favoritism, he will just go before their honors, because he ultimately his interest lies with those people. He cannot survive in the competitive environment, and he has to depend on some indirect ways according to their own vested interest. You select the people on merit, I can guarantee that you will not be, the politician will not be able to influence these bureaucrats. Bureaucracy is very powerful, but it should be on the merit. The second suggestion we have with us is that the frequent training programs for updating practical knowledge. Knowledge has no limits, and on nowadays the knowledge is improving on, I can say, the every hourly basis, one step further on every minute basis. So what happens to our bureaucracy? If I am selected for the bureaucracy, over the years and years there will be no you can say the refinement programs, the workshop that could refresh my knowledge, that could add something to my knowledge, that could teach some innovative problem solving method to the bureaucrats. I have the bitter experience to go to the National Institute of Public Administrator, where I saw some of the bureaucrats that were totally indifferent what the teacher was saying. No doubt the lecture, there may be the possibility that the lecture was not up to their expectation, but the what I diagnosed, the reason was that they have no fear of the exam. It was just the time passing, it was just entry into the system, and as they were selected for the course, it was ensured that they will be getting the certificate of passing that course. I am sure that if they are given tough time, they should be given tough time, because they are the machinery, they are the builder of the Pakistan. The whole Pakistan machinery depends on them. The service delivery is dependent upon those people. They should be given extremely tough time. They should be taught some of the innovative methods. And can you believe that almost our bureaucracy, who is above the age of 40 and 50, they do not know the computer. So how you will work without the help of the system? The people say that only if you do not know, let your assistant do this work. No doubt assistant should be, and it can solve your many of the problem, but at least you should have your access. I can mention many of the bureaucrats who cannot check their mails. अब बताएं लोगों के प्रॉब्लम कैसे सॉल्व होंगे? So these such kind of frequent training programs for updating practical knowledge. High teaching staff needs to be employed. I am not saying that I am the best teacher, but what is this? There are some certain criteria, and for those courses that are the training courses, high human labor force or human capital is required, because the more competent is the teacher, the more possibility, the probability that the people will learn from him, and they can, you can say, there should be the professional, there should be the technocrats that know the demands, requirements of the bureaucrats, and they know the areas where there needs the improvement, and at the same time they know the method by which the bureaucrat can improve their efficiencies. Training should be compulsory part of the career development. आजकल career development क्या हो रही है? Just if you have such kind of experience, 10 years, 15 years, you become eligible for the next post. It is not true. At the same time, it should be that the experience should have the weightage, but at the same time, just going through some of the year doesn't increase your eligibility. You should have gone through some of the rigorous courses. You should have gone through some of the workshop that refresh your knowledge, that increase your knowledge, add to your knowledge, teach you some of the innovative ways, and for the career development. If you set a criteria that these courses are necessary, I remember the discussion when we saw that what over time the military has gained and what the bureaucracy has gained, and our conclusion was that the military has been on the positive side and the bureaucracy has faced the fall, or you can say the defame. The one of the reason was this, that the military kept on training their officials, and if you look at the history of the military, at different stages some different courses are required, and these are courses different from the bureaucracy. They have their own institutions, they hire very high faculty, they do not compromise on the training, and in this way, although they have been involved in the political system of the Pakistan, at the same time they did not allow their professionalism to be on the falling side. That's why we still, and I believe that the Pakistan army has still one of the best armies in the Pakistan, with the one precondition that now it doesn't interfere into the political system of the Pakistan. At this time, it is not my time to make suggestion, but I will ensure you that if our army or the bureaucracy, rather than the army, if it will kept on interfering with the political landscape, ultimately the army will be on the, you can say, the loser end, and it will lose its professionalism, it will become weak, and it should avoid this. And there is now the change of command. General Rahil is there, Rahil Sharif is there, and we hope for the best that, like General Kiani, a wonderful man, not I am direct relation with Kiani, but he kept the democratic system to continue. And I am sure, being a very, very small student of political science and economics, I do believe that all our worries solution lies on the democracy. The people are making hue or cry. They're right that inflation is increasing, dollar's value is increasing, rupee is decreasing, interest and what kind of thing, they are true. But the time will take, it will take time to set the train again on the line, because over the years there were 33 years of dictatorship. I am still hopeful and I am optimistic that the bureaucracy, that the democracy will change the fate of the more than 180 million people in Pakistan. Monitoring the performance of bureaucrat. How the monitoring of the performance is being done in Pakistan? Do you know? There are the ACR. Now this system is not as effective. Annual confidential reports. So although there are certain columns that are fulfilled, that this person, that person has this of the characteristic, but this is not the proper monitoring. At the end of the year, your immediate boss do this or that, and there you can say there is high biasness in this, because that you always keep good terms with your immediate boss, because you know that this you are going to have your ACR. So the need to change outdated procedure. I would like to speak one of the verses from the Iqbal. आईन नौ से डरना, तर्ज़े कोहन पे अड़ना, मंजिल यही कठिन है कौमों की जिंदगी में. Need to change outdated procedure. उठाकर इसको जो है वो फेंक दें into the rubbish. This system is in handcuffing our hands. It is never allowing to do for this. This is a century-old system, same system that was devised by the British. British has their different objective to rule this nation. They wanted to just rule and threat and exploit the resources. But nowadays the situation is not that. Our bureaucracy is not like the British ruler. They are the friend of this. They are from the same community. तो उसको उठाकर जो है वो फेंक दें outdated procedure को. Otherwise no solution for the efficient use of the machinery of this. It is also a time-taking procedure. I can't say that it will be happening in a couple of days or the couple of months, even in a couple of years. But at the same time, only solution for the efficient use of the machinery is to change the situation. Unnecessary documentation cripple them. When there is unnecessary documentation, I am tired of the complaints of the students when they ask that they have submitted the same performa over several times. Being a PhD faculty, I have just a couple of years to join this ComSat Institute, but at the same time I am tired of that. I have deposited many, I have submitted many times that the performas. The performa should be submitted once, and if there is improvement, then this performa should be resubmitted for this. So it means there is a flaw in the bureaucratic procedure, or you can say the administrative procedure. In any of the university you go, there is a conflict between the examination department and the academic department and the administration department. What is this all? The three institutions have been established for the same purpose. So why they are on the conflict of interest? I don't know. Just some of the personal egos of the persons, and there are vested interest of this. Different departments should work in coordination. Coordination is necessary. It saves time, it saves money also, and it speed up the process. Rather than all the institutions are independent by power and authority, they should be independent. But with the working relationship, they should coordinate with many of the other the departments to get the data. Now look at this. Since the banks have been privatized, you can see that the efficiency has increased, the bill and the deposits has increased, the service level has increased. These are the debatable things, because there are researches that show that the efficiency of some of the bank has, after the privatization, even decreased. So I would not like to just any one of the name here. So the continuity of government policies should be encouraged. Bureaucracy should not be the part of any of the political government. Koi aaye, koi jaye, I am part of the ComSat institution. I should be the true professional. I should be loyal to my profession. If the management changes, I should coordinate with the new administrator, and we both should work for the development of the institution. If all the people, all the bureaucrats follow this procedure, you will see the imaginary results of this, and there will be huge improvement in this. Transparent system to avoid corruption. The transparency, not talking about the Transparency International, but the transparent system minimize your problem, increase your efforts, increase your credibility, and at the same time make your system sustainable. This nepotism, this favoritism is not a long-run phenomena. These are very, very short-term phenomena, and if in any of the country, it cannot survive over the years. So the transparent system to avoid corruption. If the systems are transparent, if you see the codes and the books of the rules and regulations of Pakistani culture, Pakistani system, you will see that every time there are very heavy penalties for the corruption. But at the same time, too much laws, too much corruption. So the system should be more and more transparent. One way to make the system more transparent is to give the people the right of the information. Now this law is being, you can say, implemented. The people, if I know that how the the admission criteria was in Quaid-e-Azam University, how the bank, when there was the selection in bank, what were the numbers, what were the written test numbers, if I know all this, then I will be, the system will become more and more transparent. Transparent system are required to nip the corruption. More the transparency, if I want to say negative relationship between this. Look at here, this is the transparency, and here is the corruption. And there is a negative relationship between this. For example, if the transparency is A level, you will see that the corruption is at, for example, C level. If you reduce the transparency, the corruption will automatically from C to D. From here to here, the first corruption. So there is a negative. The more transparency, the more the less corruption is there. Delay in the procedures should be minimized. ये ख्वाहिश है, काश के ये जो है वो पूरी हो जाए. It is not only my desire, it is your desire also, because any of the office, if you will go, खुदा की पनाह, what a wonderful, what a, you can say, the laborious, the cumbersome system. Even you go to the Nadra, even go to the banks, even go either go to the any of the ministry, you will see that you will have to fill many of the papers these that are totally rubbish, no use of them. They will be throwing it to there. Go to the admission, go to the forms of the boards, you will see that these are very, very complicated forms. So if we want to improve the efficiency of the bureaucracy, that is our discussion. So in this way we should have delay in the procedures should be minimized. अगर जैसे ही प्रोसीजर लेंथी होगा, bureaucracy will have more chances to be, you can say, the opportunity to exploit the people. Attractive salary packages. No doubt the bureaucrats are human beings. They need salary, they need money to run their own business. And if you are not giving them enough money to fulfill demands, you are encouraging them to be corrupt for this. So the attractive salaries could attract best students. Two purposes for this. The first is, if you will be giving higher salaries, the best mind will be attracted towards the civil servants. It was a time that still the people are more interested into DMG. क्या DMG में जो है वो ज़्यादा salary है? So what is the reason? The people want to use power as a compensation for their salary. So if we increase the salary structures, improve the salary structure, improve the salary package of many of the bureaucrats, there is the possibility that the corruption will be at the lower end. It is not the necessary condition. The researchers shows that it is not that even you increase the salary of the bureaucrats, there is not significant effect on the delivery system for this. However, this is one of the fundamental and the powerful tool that to brings more efficient mind towards the civil servant. Salary package should be competitive to other opportunities. All other opportunities, for example, if I am sitting here, if I think that my opportunity cost is not being fulfilled here, why I should come here? I only come here because I think that my opportunity cost is lowest here and I am getting the reasonable benefit from regarding this lecture. So if even increase more the remuneration, now you will be thinking about, should I tell you? No, it is a secret. I will not share it with you. So if the management increases the remuneration for this, the quite possible that even the high professors, high rank professor are inclined towards this recording. And definitely I have no hesitation to acknowledge that some people are definitely have more powerful method to teach and they can even perform them, but to attract them it is not to attract them, it is not easy. They are too busy, and only if you will increase the remuneration. This will create efficiency in performance. When you are free from your economic needs, now you are free, you can put your heart, effort wholly solely into your business. Business means not this is the economic business. Business means your routine duties. जब आपको कोई परेशानी नहीं होगी कि आपका कोई फाइनेंशियल मसला है, you will not be looking at the hands of the people, you will not be trying to get money from the people. The one of the major reason in the low bureaucracy of the corruption is that the people have the lower salaries. For example, if to go to the account office, a clerk is not getting more than 20 to 25,000, and in such a high inflation, if a person has 4 or 5 family members, 2 or 3 children, 1 wife, 1 parent, and he himself, then it is very, very difficult, particularly when he has he has a rented home. 10 to 15,000 will be going towards the rented house. So that's why people are forced towards this. So they legalize it. They become logical when they complain that their needs are not being fulfilled. The other way, the promotion should be based on performance rather than the political affiliation. Many political appointments are there. The previous Chief Justice was famous for his suo motu action, and he has cancelled many of the political appointments, and he brought the people to the court for their misuse of power. Gilani has to face the problem. The Raja Parvez Ashraf, that was the Prime Minister, he has to appear before the court, and there the possibility cannot be ruled out that if the Nawaz Sharif will be going in the same way, he is also now showing his intention, he is also making some of the political appointments rather than the merit. He may have to face the judiciary, but it will not be a good sign of the Pakistan. We should hope for the best, and we should say that this doesn't happen, because ultimately if there is a scuffle between the judiciary and the bureaucracy, we will see that this could create the problem for this. So now I think it's time to give you a summary of the lecture. Just we have completed in 1 hour before. We talked some of the mechanism that why there is so poor plight of the bureaucracy in Pakistan, and why the bureaucracy is not efficient in Pakistan. So we have seen many of the problems, that there is the political system, there is nepotism, favoritism, the falling standard of the educational institution that are the nurseries for the civil servant. There is not the rule of the merit, and there is lust for the power also. There is red tapeism. There are many other phenomena that restrict the efficiency of this. But at the same time, we did not give up our discussion just to diagnose that what are the problem. We are in the process of giving suggestion to improve the public administration or the bureaucracy. The first and the foremost was that the merit should be the rule of the day. If we ensure merit, then I can guarantee that the bureaucrat will be performing. They will not be at the beck and call of their political masters. The other thing that can improve the bureaucracy is the attractive salary package. If you give the good salary package to the people, they will be performing in a better way. And if the many other measures can be taken that can improve the efficiency of the people. So I would like to conclude here. So thank you very much for your attention. Goodbye and Allah Hafiz.